let's move on to a graph, because if you were to graph all of these points, maybe we can try that. Yeah, I don't know. If you were to graph all of these points on a graph, then you would see that the shape it makes. So I don't know, we're just going to try this. Let me get a graph. Here we go. Oh, and I can even do this, I think. Nice. I don't want that one. Thank you for bearing with me. I want this one. Oh. Okay. Here we go. So I'll just show you the graph of these two. I can't even really show the graph of that one. Well, I'll show you the graph of this one, and then I'll show you the graph of that one. Okay, so here, the graph of this one, let's make it, I don't know, we can make this one red. Okay, the graph of this one would be 1 and 1. So if I graph this, I get 1 and 1. My x value is 2, y is 4. And when my x value is 3, y is 9. Right? So this creates if I were to connect these dots, it's not a straight line. You can see how that's kind of a curved line, not a straight line. Versus, if we were to graph this one, we'll make this one green. 1 and 2. 2 and 4, so we have the same point on these actually. 3 and 6. 4 and 8. Now that is a straight line. Kind of hard for me to, oh, I know. Boom, right? That you can see is a straight line, whereas these were clearly not on a straight line. So if you graph it, you'll see linear means straight line. And let's look at that as a graph. So I got some graphs for us down here. Let's look at some graphs of functions that are linear or maybe aren't linear. Okay, so you need to ask yourself 2 questions when you're looking for linear graphs. Question 1 is, sure. It's not wanting to, there we go. Question 1 is it a function? And then question 2 is it linear? Okay, so because if it's not a function, then it doesn't even matter if it's linear or not, right? It can't be a linear function if it's not a function. So here, is this a function? Well, remember, we can use the vertical line test. And if my vertical line hits that graph at 2 points, it's not a function. So this one's not, whoa, not even a function. Sorry that you saw behind the curtain there for a second. This one's not a function. So it can't be a linear function. Okay, this one. Is it a function? Well, if I look at my vertical line test, it doesn't really look like any vertical lines would pass through it more than once, right? So it is a function, but is it linear? Well, I've got all these curves all over the place. So this is a function, but this is not a linear function. Okay, how about this next one? Again, looking at it, it passes the vertical line test, right? That vertical line, no matter where I put it, is not going to cross that function twice. But it's curvy. So since it's curvy, it's definitely not a linear function. Okay, this last one, I have this blue line right here. Again, looks like it passes the vertical line test, and it's just a straight line. So this is a linear function. Okay, so that's looking at graphs. There's one more thing I want to talk about, and that's equations. I know this video has already gone a little long, but hang with me, okay? So if we're looking at equations, how do you know whether or not they're going to be linear? Linear functions, again, as x increases, y increases the same amount. So linear functions, they don't have exponents. They have one y and one x. So some examples of linear functions. Y equals x. Y equals 2x plus 3. Y equals negative 1/2 x minus 10, right? Anything, sorry, I promise these are y's. Y. So these are all linear functions. Examples of not linear functions. Y equals x squared. That was one that I showed up there. Y squared equals x. Or even like y equals the square root of x. Even y equals, if you have x in the denominator, that's not linear. Okay, so all of these are not linear functions. And you could have numbers, right? You could have y equals, I don't know, like 3x squared minus x plus 1. That has x squared, so it's not linear. Just because it also has an x. Linear functions only have one y and one x. Another example might be y equals x times x plus 1, right? I've got two x's there. That's not linear. Okay, so linear functions, hopefully that helps you know if it's a linear function from a table, a graph, or an equation. I know that that's a lot to take in. I know this is kind of a long video, but all three of those concepts will be super important for you going forward from here.